You think you can control everything forever? My sister's voice came from the doorway, threaded with its usual taunt and contempt. I looked up and saw her leaning in the frame, a self-satisfied glint in her eye. She's always been the family's golden child. Whatever she wanted, she somehow got, while I, the one who kept my head down and worked, carried the weight of life. Her toe tapped the edge of my new car as if testing my patience. I clenched my fists and took a breath to stay calm, but the anger was already rising in my chest. "That's my car," I said, my voice steady but each word a blade. "You can't touch it." She shrugged and the corner of her mouth lifted. "Don't be so tense. It's just a car. You know Mom and Dad will make you forgive me." I bit my tongue and thought of the countless scenes like this. When I was a kid, every effort I made, every sacrifice for the family, was overlooked. When she messed up, our parents cleaned things up for her. When I slipped, the criticism came down hard. Back then I thought that if I kept quiet and endured, someone would eventually see my work. This time was different. For 3 years I saved, every paycheck, every bonus, every small sacrifice, to buy a car that belonged entirely to me, something bought with my sweat. She, on the other hand, had never had to work for anything. Consequences were foreign to her world. That night, I just parked the car in front of the house when she was already there, leaning against it as if claiming ownership. "Nice ride," she said without looking up from her phone. "How many miles?" "Under 100, I replied, forcing my voice to stay calm. She reached for the handle and I stepped in front of the door. "No. I just bought it." She rolled her eyes. "Come on, don't be so petty. It's only a car." "Only a car? I bought it with 3 years of my savings. You don't even deserve to borrow it." She shrugged and smiled, but didn't move away. Her smile chilled me. I had a bad feeling that trouble was quietly coming. Sure enough, when I went upstairs to grab something, the keys were gone and so was the car. My stomach dropped. She had taken my car. I called her, but she'd turned her phone off. I watched taillights fade down the street, the tires screech mocking me. I called the police and a short while later County Officer Reynolds phoned. "The report shows the driver was a female who identified herself as Jamie Anderson," he said. My hand trembled for a moment, then steadied. I told myself she would have to answer for this. No more excuses. No more glossing it over. 3 days later I sat in the insurance office and laid out the case, unauthorized use of the vehicle, plus the texts where I explicitly refused permission. The claims rep scanned my documents and nodded. If the owner can prove she denied permission and there's evidence the vehicle was used without authorization, liability can be assigned to the driver. I gripped my phone, my eyes went cold. She had never borne real responsibility in her life. Now she would, and the estimate was roughly $30,000 to $40,000. When I left the office, sunlight cut through the glass and warmed my face. The air tasted oddly like victory. Years of being overlooked, my parents' bias, her arrogance, all of it would be balanced on that bill. Back home, she carried on as if nothing had happened, posting pictures and bragging online. She hadn't expected me not to fold. At dinner our parents tried the usual, coax me to forgive, smooth everything over. She, predictably, wore her smirk. "You calm down now? Still going to throw a fit over a car?" she taunted. I slid a stack of insurance documents across the table. My voice was quiet. "Read this." She flipped through the pages. Her expression froze. Pride wilted into panic. Even our parents went still. "This is the final insurance report," I said. "Liabilities assigned to you." The air around the table tightened. Her hands shook on the paper, lips parted, no sound coming out. Looking at her then, I felt a power I'd never exercised before, justice finally facing her. Over the next few days she panicked, calling our parents begging for money or connections to fix this. I was ready for all of it. Each time she called, her voice betrayed helplessness. Every time I reminded her, calmly, this is what you chose. She began to worry about future consequences, credit ratings, loans, promotions, all the things her privilege had always shielded. Those perks were suddenly in jeopardy. I didn't rush to gloat. I watched carefully. Seeing her pare back spending, sell off luxuries, recalculate a life she'd never previously had to manage gave me a private satisfaction. She was feeling pressure she'd never known, the same heavy, small humiliations I'd endured for years. And in watching her, I learned more about myself. The anger I'd held in check and the patience I'd cultivated had a strategy. This wasn't petty revenge, it was precise and lawful. Each step was legal, airtight. She had nowhere to hide. One weekend she came to my door, panic in her eyes. "You can't do this," she blurted. I'll find a way to fix it." I leaned against the frame and answered coolly, "I told you this time is different. I'm not cleaning up your mess." Her lips trembled, tears pooled but did nothing to change the facts. "Do you hate me?" she asked, voice small. "It's not hate," I said. "It's fairness." Days became habit. Her life was forced into a new rhythm. Credit reports tightened, bank offers dried up, and each time she tried to duck responsibility the reality closed in. She reached out to me slowly, gingerly, but I kept my tone clear and my boundary firm. She must bear this herself. For me, the satisfaction wasn't a vengeful rush. It was the feeling of my hard work being respected at last. The line I drew wasn't vindictive, it was protective. It safeguarded what I had built and made sure her entitlement wouldn't eat away at it. In the end, she understood that life wouldn't always pave a path for her. When she asked our parents to step in this time, there was no easy fix. She felt the weight I'd known for years, the responsibility, the consequence, the small humbling that, until then, seemed to pass her by. I stood by the window and watched her make frantic calls and balance a budget she'd never had to make. For the first time, my 3 years of scrimping and saving felt vindicated. I hadn't lost reason or crossed a line. I'd let the law and the facts do the work my anger could not. "You'll learn," I said silently, to her and to myself. Her hand trembled on the papers. She no longer dared to look at me with the same contempt. That moment taught me something. Revenge isn't destruction, it's restoring order, bringing justice back into balance.